You should rejoice on your holidays. When the Jewish people make the pilgrimage to the temple 3 times a year, there's a mitzvah that in addition to the Chagiga sacrifice and the burnt offering that we mentioned yesterday, they have to bring with them an additional sacrifice called the Shalmei Simcha, the peace offerings of joy. And this is a general mitzvah which also applies when there is no temple, of rejoicing on the 3 pilgrimage holidays of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. This is done through eating meat, primarily through drinking wine, wearing new clothing, giving sweets and fruit to the children, and any other thing which adds in joy and celebration. We are commanded that we are to include everyone in this celebration, also those who don't have the means, invite the poor people and the Levites to our celebrations. And in times of the temple, there is also the detail within this mitzvah that on Sukkot, when the drawing of the water takes place, there's a special rejoicing where the Jewish people come to the temple and they dance and there's music. This brings us to a negative mitzvah that when we make the pilgrimage to the temple, we are not to come empty-handed. We are to come at least with the burnt offering and the Chagiga offering that we mentioned yesterday. Another negative mitzvah on this topic is that we are not to leave out the Levites. As we know, the Levites don't have land of their own, and everything they get is donations from the Jewish people. And we are not to leave them out of our celebrations. We are to invite them and include them in the celebrations that we make on the holidays. Finally, there's a special mitzvah of gathering Hakhel that all Jewish people, every single Jew, men, women, and children, even tiny infants, should be brought to the Holy Temple once every 7 years on the Sukkot after the sabbatical year, and everyone comes into the temple, but they hear the reading of the Torah from the king. The king reads certain parts of Deuteronomy, and this adds in connection and awe of God. We are told that when the Jewish people would come to do Hakhel, it was as if they were at Mount Sinai and felt the transmission to God on the most highest, greatest way. We move on to the topic of firstborns. There is a special mitzvah that all firstborn animals, we are to separate the firstborn and do as the Torah has told us to do with it, which is that when it comes to kosher animals, we are commanded to bring it to the holy temple, where the blood is sprinkled on the altar, the fats are burnt, and the rest is consumed by the Kohens. This is specifically if it doesn't have a blemish. If it has a blemish, then the laws are different. And also if it's outside of Israel, then it's only to be eaten once the animal gets a blemish which would make it unfit for a sacrifice, then it is allowed to be eaten. Thank you for watching.